Hello everyone, Pro here. So before we begin on the how, I first need to explain the why of why you should become a good leader. And the answer is very simple. It's basically you can make a difference in a world where nothing matters. And what I mean by that is that you can affect a lot of people's lives, right? So if you're a leader and you have a follower, right, then that means you can make a difference in your follower's life. And well, consequently, your life as well. And there's a beauty in that because that means that you're in a position where you're dependable enough that you can make a difference in somebody's life, right? So if you're a leader via somebody else's authority, right? Like somebody appointed you, like you're a manager or you're an older sibling or something, whatever reason you find yourself into a position of leadership, well, cherish it because there's so much beauty in being a leader, right? Like it makes such a big difference in people's lives, and that's not something very small. That's pretty big if you can make a difference in anybody's life, right? So, hopefully that explains the why. Like realistically, there's so much beauty in becoming a leader that uh, like the benefits are very very big, right? And I'm not just talking about like selfish ones, right? There's also the fact that you're making differences in people's lives. Like that's pretty huge. Uh, so like yeah, definitely cherish that, and that people can look up to you, and you're basically making a difference in people's lives. So yeah, if you don't think that's a huge deal, I don't know what to tell you because it very much is. It very much is a big deal to make a difference in somebody's life. So, yeah, if you think that's something you want to do, well then keep. I appreciate you sticking around, and let's just get into it, right? So I have a couple of different ways, and I'm gonna get into them. So, one of the biggest ones is to listen to your followers, right? That's a huge one. Is you have to be a good listener, right? Because you have to figure out what do your people need, right? And the best way you figure that out is by just listening to them, and so, like just being like, okay, cool. They're literally telling me exactly what they need, and like all I have to do is just open my ears, and yeah, it's really that simple. It really is. So yeah, like open up your ears and listen to what your followers are saying. So uh, yeah, like one of the biggest things about being a leader is that obviously like there comes a lot of benefits with it, right? Especially like if you're an appointed one, right? Like but in reality you're also dedicated to your followers, right? So it's not just something like where, oh, I'm the boss or whatever, and like I could just do whatever I want with people, and like I don't have to care about them. Like that's shitty people. Like that's very shitty excuses for leaders. Those aren't leaders. Those are just bosses. Those are, you know, people of authority, right? Like those aren't real leaders. Like, so I can't respect people like that because they think so little of people because they have a title, and I just don't understand why. I just don't understand it, like how people can trip over such little power, right? imagine being appointed any small position of power, right, and then it just goes to your head. Like that's crazy. Like I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand why people like lose their shit for it, right? I understand that people like power and like they covet it and all that stuff, right? And people can be very corruptible, right? I understand that, like, but it's just funny to me how people like will throw away like their whole identity for something so meaningless, right? Or they'll compromise their entire morals just because they're leaders now, or they're in positions of authority, I should say. So it's kind of sad, but whatever. That's just what can you do? That's human nature, right? That's we've all, we've been that way, so it's kind of hard to change that up, right? So hey, to each your own, right? But like honestly, yeah, like I said, like listen to your people. Um, Definitely get them, get your people going. Like really take care of them and look out for them. Don't just leave them by the wayside and leave them to get like screwed, or like just grind them to dust for your own benefit. Like no, like really look out for your people. because at the end of the day, like, wouldn't you want somebody to look out for you if the roles were reversed, right? Like, I don't think you would want somebody like crushing you, so why would you crush somebody else? And that's just a simple logic right there, right? It's like, treat others how you'd want to be treated, right? It's like, why would you not do that? So yeah, like yeah, just yeah, treat your people with respect, you know, like, don't think that you're untouchable, or don't think you're high and mighty because you're a leader. Like, never let it get that bad. Never let yourself get corrupted like that, because that's the worst thing you can do as a leader, is become corrupted and then just become a tyrant, right? Because, I mean, I'll tell you this, like, people don't like tyrants, and yeah, like, you're just gonna make yourself a target. You're gonna ostracize yourself for no reason, and then you're gonna feel bad at the end of the day for it. So hey, just don't do it. Just don't do it in the first place, right? So, and that brings me to my next point, right? It's like, basically, check your ego, because like that's gonna be your biggest problem as a leader, right? Is if you don't check your ego, because your ego is the one that's gonna tell you, like, oh hey, like, I'm above these people, like, I don't, like, these people work for me, and like, you see how reductive that is, like, even saying something like these people, right? Like, well, what does that mean? Like, you don't look at them as like, you see them, like, things like that is how you kind of separate people, you know, like, keep them separate, right? Be like, oh, okay, like, these people don't even, like, they're so beneath me, I don't even consider them people anymore. And it's just like, wow, that's terrible. You know, definitely fix that if that's how you think. Like, people are not so, you know, they're not disposable, you know. Like, if they're benefiting you, right, then you should act like they are, you know, like, be grateful that they benefit you, instead of being so you know, just heartless and very uncaring. Like, don't do that. Like, again, it goes back to, like, you would not want if somebody did that to you. Like, and that's just real talk. Like, who wants to be treated with disrespect, and like, and basically, like, that's how you kind of keep this bullshit going too, right? It's like, when people get shitted on, they tend to shit on other people, and it's just like, it just keeps going, right? And it doesn't make it right. You're not just like, oh, okay, yeah, hey, this is how people did it to me, like, so, and it's like, yeah, it wasn't right then, and it's not right now that you're doing it. But hey, like, that's people just want to think their actions don't have consequences, when in reality they do. They very, very much do. So yeah, like, please, like, just check your ego. Don't take your problems out on your people. Like, don't do that. Like, it's just so bad if you do. Like, it's a bit absurd if you do that, you know. Like, like, you know, again, you would not want it if somebody did that to you. So that's a big one. Definitely check your ego. Don't take whatever's going on out on your people, right? They're just like you. They're just regular people just like you, and like, they're just trying to get by the day, right? And you don't need to make their lives even harder than what it is, right? Because, like, that's just not fair. You wouldn't want it's not fair, right? And well, that takes care of, like, the actual, like, I guess, humane side of it, right? Now let's talk about the more practical side, right? And basically, as a leader, you kind of have an obligation to keep going and keep improving yourself, right? Because that's pretty much what's going to get you your results that you want, right? Is getting improving yourself constantly every day, right? And what does that mean, right? That means probably reading, learning, continue learning, like, always learn as a leader. Like, there's no, like, you can't be behind on these type of things, right? You can't be just not learning and, like, progressively getting just worse, right? Like, you have to kind of get in there and let yourself just, you know, accomplish whatever tasks you need to do and kind of provide for your people, right? And the way you do that is by learning more, becoming more adept as a leader. right? So hopefully this makes sense. I know like I've done kind of a terrible job of really explaining it, but like again, what I like to do is I like to read books. I like to what's it called? I like to really get out there and start talking to people, like, and really listening to them. That's a big one, right? Like those those actual skills that'll get you where you want to go, right? It's the actual listening and socializing and stuff. Like that's the biggest part about being a leader, is to actually be connected with your followers, right? That's the big one. Sorry, like is to be connected with your followers, right? Just imagine that, like, oh hey, like we have a genuine connection, like, and like we're bonded because of this. Like human bonds are some of the most beautiful, like probably the most beautiful thing in this world, right? Is to really bond with somebody, like whether that's romantic, friendship, family, like whatever, it doesn't matter. A bond is a bond, and like that's not something that you take lightly. So yeah, hopefully, sorry for dropping the plot a little bit right there, but yeah, like I brought it back. Like yeah, that's the biggest one, is like picture your people, right? Picture really caring about your people and wanting the best for them. That's the best way you can help them, honestly. So hopefully this helps you, because like yeah, like this is this is how I visualize things, right? Like we can definitely help each other and like become more than what we are. So, and I hope that we do that, because yeah, this world desperately needs more leaders. We need a lot more good men and women to step up and really just get us out of this bind that we're in, right? Because we'll always be here if like we keep at this pace, right? This pace is not sustainable, I should say. Like there's so many people suffering. There's so many people that are like a lot of good success from people's worlds is or a lot of people's success, I should say, in this world is coming at a lot of people's expenses, and we need to stop that. Like we really do. So, and that's why we need good leaders. So please, like if you want to start off small, please do so. You know, like even just one person making a difference in one person's life, I promise you that goes a long way, because they in turn then they can make a difference in somebody's life, and boom, from there it just keeps going, right? So I'm definitely gonna make another video, like, or another topic of how to be a good follower as well. So like again, I apologize that this came a little bit like clunky, or like very you know, messy, but yeah, like that's just that's how I go sometimes with these videos. So yeah, I'll probably dedicate an actual channel to like most of this real talk. So but yeah, like see, and this is that you got a perfect example of people not being good leaders right here, right? So yeah, look at this, like these saboteurs, man, like they're they basically the leaders of Etruria just said, all right, fuck it, we're in with Burn now. And it's like, no, why would you do that? And of course, you know, the generals, right, that you've seen that we've worked with, right, like obviously they're not down with that, but you know, so much so that Cecilia's revolting, and but the other two, they're basically held hostage because like they're trying to protect the king. So it's kind of sad. Like that's how this works in Fire Emblem, and like that's a pretty good segue in there, right? But yeah, I'm definitely gonna make a follower video as well, like how to be a good follower. Sometime, maybe sometime in the next couple parts. So yeah, join me again. Hit that like button if you really enjoy what I do, and I'll see you next time. Take care.